Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, my name's Amy. I'm a full-time reseller, primarily on the Poshmark app, and today I'll be doing a ship with me video. I like to do these types of videos to share with you what's currently selling on Poshmark so you can get an idea of what kind of dollar amounts you can get for items that you can look for at your local thrift stores. And also, if you're new here, I would so appreciate it if you would subscribe, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Maybe comment what your Poshmark closet name is, and I'll make sure I'm following you and share some of your listings. So let's get started. The first item is this pair of Doc Marten combat boots, and these are kind of a unique style because you can flip them over and they have this floral print on them. These had much better comps than other Doc Martens that I had seen. I was really excited when I found these. I saw them on the shelf at the regular Goodwill, and I was excited just because they were Doc Martens and they were only $10. But when I got back and looked them up, I saw that they had really good comps, some up to $150. I think I listed these for $169, and I'd had them listed for maybe about a month, and I'd sent out some offers. And today I got an offer for $125 for these. So I thought that was great, and I decided it was a fair price and I would accept it. So after my cost of goods, which was $10, my net profit was $90. So a $90 net profit on one item, I think, is amazing. Very exciting. So I do a combination of shopping at the regular Goodwill, the bins, estate sales, other thrift stores. It's really my favorite part about what I do. So I'm always out there looking for a good deal. So for these, you know, I use keywords like leather, combat. I may have put punk in there. I put floral because these had the floral lining. I did use Google Lens to look up and get the style name for these, and I think I got a stock photo for these too. I don't always like to use stock photos just because you can get kind of in trouble if you do. But if I can't get a really good image of the item, I sometimes will use them. So I'm going to be using this large mailing box. It's box number 7. And I like to use this for handbags, larger shoes, and coats. So I'll go ahead and seal that up off camera so you don't have to listen to my tape. And the next sale is another pretty exciting sale. This is a bundle of 2 Native American style bolo ties. This one has a bird with turquoise in the middle, and it's on a woven leather necklace, whatever you want to call it. This one has a larger turquoise stone, and it's also on woven leather. So I had picked these up at an estate sale last summer, actually, and I kind of drug my feet getting them listed because I was trying to do more research on them. I ended up listing them for $169 each, and the buyer offered me $120 each, and I had paid $10 each for these. So I think I may have been able to get a little bit more for these, but I decided, because I had them for a little while, that was a fair price. And so I put them both into a bundle. Actually, I didn't accept the $120 each. I put them in the bundle and sent the buyer a message and said, if we bundle these, you will only have to pay 1 shipping cost. And so I counter offered $250 for both with $5.99 shipping. and she said you drive a hard bargain, but she accepted. So she seemed really excited to get these, so I hope that she is excited about them. So like I said, the sale price was $250 with discounted shipping. My cost of goods for both items was $20. So my net profit was $178.28. I mean, that's just great. I'm super excited about that. So I just wrapped these up in bubble wrap, and I had this box that I picked up at an estate sale, and I am going to put those in there, and I am going to use a box for these. And this is box number 1096L. It's a little bit larger than the small flat rate box. And I just wanted to use a box to keep these a little bit safer because it was a high dollar sale. So I'm pretty excited about my sales for this weekend, if you can't tell. So the next item is kind of unusual. This is a metal bezel, and it goes on a vintage Gucci watch. So they had, this isn't a watch, but I'm just giving you an example. So they had these watches that had the face, and then you could screw on different colored bezels to go with your outfit or whatnot. And I had the vintage Gucci watch and wore it for a couple of years. And I sold it with a number of bezels a little while ago. And then I realized that I still had this one. And so I listed it. And I think I listed it for $49 because the metal ones are a little more desirable typically and get better prices. And the buyer made me an offer for $40, which I thought was more than fair. I had paid $1 for this at an estate sale because whenever I see these, I'll pick them up because I know that, well, at the time I was wearing the watch, but also because I know that they have good resale value. So after my cost of goods and Posh fees, my net profit was $31. And I just wrapped it in bubble wrap, and I'm using one of these cute little plastic boxes from the dollar store. They're typically on the end caps near the food storage aisle. So they come out to be about 10 cents each. And this is ribbon that I picked up at a thrift store. I don't buy new ribbon, but if I can find it for 10 cents or 25 cents, then I will pick it up and use it on my jewelry pieces. I get lots of great 5-star reviews with comments thanking me for the special packaging and saying that they really like it. And I think the little plastic boxes keep things nice and safe in transit too. I'm gonna use a padded flat rate envelope for that. The next item is this pair of men's Arc'teryx hiking pants, fishing. If you're not familiar with Arc'teryx, you should be. It's a high-end outdoor gear brand, and their items are very expensive retail, and they typically have a good resale value. These I listed for $89, and I just listed them, I think, less than a week ago. And I'd had a lot of likes and sent out 10% off offers. And then yesterday I had my Posher VA send out a 20% off offer on every item in my closet. And so they sent an offer for $71 with discounted shipping, and the buyer accepted. I had paid $5 for these at my regular Goodwill, so that made my net profit $49.12. I am thrilled with most of my profits from today. It's just really great to have a good return on investment like that, so you can work smarter, not harder. So I am using these. You'll see me using these on my other clothing items. They are plastic garment bags like the dry cleaner would use. And I picked a huge roll of these up at an estate sale for $5 last summer. I cut them in half and then I just wrapped the items in it. I would assume you could get something similar on Amazon or through like a store supply warehouse. If I can find something, I will link it in the description box below. But I just mainly got them because it was so inexpensive. And I kind of look at it like a form of recycling because I didn't buy something new. So the next item is this St. John blazer jacket. And I do pick up St. John when it is the right price because the retail is very high on this brand, but the resale is very hit or miss. This came with a little waist belt, or you could tie it around your neck kind of like a scarf. So I went to an estate sale last summer that had a ton of St. John and other designer brand clothes. And all of the clothes were $1 a piece, except for the actual coats were $5. So I bought a whole bunch of this. And the other thing about St. John is it is a slow mover. So if you don't like having inventory, kind of sitting around, then you really want to do your research on what you pick up. Sometimes I sell these for $20, sometimes I sell them for $200. So this I had listed for $49, and I think I'd probably had it listed for at least 6 months. And I'd sent out multiple offers. And so I got an offer today for $35, which I thought was fair. And like I said, I had paid a dollar for it. So that made my net profit $27, which, even though it took a little while to sell, I think that's still a great profit. And this buyer will get a high quality designer piece for herself. So because it's a little bit more substantial piece, I am going to use this $10.95 mailing box. Did I say my net profit was $27 on that? I think I did. Okay, the next item is this pair of Sundance linen pants. And if you've watched my thrift hauls, you'll see that I walked into the Goodwill one day and went back to the new racks, and there was a whole bunch of Sundance linen stuff and denim stuff. So I got quite a bit. That was a great day, and I've sold a good majority of it. So I had these listed for $69, and like I said, I had my Posher VA send out 20% off offers with discounted shipping on my entire closet, and the buyer accepted. So these sold for $55 with discounted shipping. I had paid $5 for these at my regular Goodwill, and I think I'd had these listed for 2 or 3 weeks. So that made my net profit $36.32. Another great sale. I'm really pleased. Poshmark's been a little bit slow for me lately. This is more like a normal day for me that you're seeing now. So it makes me feel good to have some of these higher dollar sales. I have had some really lower days, and that's part of being a full-time reseller. Sometimes you feel rich and sometimes you feel like you're struggling a little bit, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I absolutely love it. So the last item today is this sack purse. Now, I always gravitate towards these when I see them at the thrift store because they have cute classic styles and they're really pretty nice quality. They're sold at Nordstrom and other department stores like that, and the retail's decent. This bag was probably $89 to $100, but the resale is just not good. So I typically pass on them. And I knew this wouldn't be a really great return, but I just loved this metallic leather, so I couldn't resist it. I had it listed, I think, for $45, and I had sent out quite a few offers on it. So when the buyer offered me $20 this morning, I decided that it was time to accept it and move forward. I had paid just $3 for this at a thrift store, so that made my net profit $13. And even though I like to keep my net profits higher than that, I don't complain about any profits. So, and I realized that this may not be a high dollar sale when I picked it up. So, all in all, a really great couple of days. It's Monday, so these are my weekend sales I shipped on Saturday. So I am really happy, and I will be back tomorrow or the next day to show you what sold those couple of days. See you then. Hi, it's a couple days later, and I've got some more stuff to ship out. It's been a really great couple of days, some good sales with good profits, so I'm excited to share. The first item is this denim Pilcrow and the letterpress jumpsuit. It's a really cute piece, and I'd had it hanging up for quite some time, and I hadn't listed it because it needed to be steamed. You'll see that I can be a little lazy with things in my death pile, unfortunately, but I got it listed, I'd say about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and I listed it for $79, I believe, and I got an offer for $70. So I thought that was pretty great, since Pilcrow and the letterpress isn't quite what it used to be. I had paid just $5 for this at our regular Goodwill, so that made my profit $51, which I think is really great for something like that. So I'll go ahead and get this packaged up in this plastic garment bag, and I'm going to use one of the little bit larger mailing boxes, and this is number 1095. I like to use this for my items that are a little bit more substantial, that won't fit as easily in the Tyvek envelope. So the next item is kind of an exciting piece. I had gone back to the new racks at our Goodwill, and they had a whole bunch of vintage t-shirts, and I saw this one, and I don't know if you can tell, it's really faded. It has some kind of white pit stains, whatnot, but it is a single stitch tee, and it was just $2.99. I had this listed, I had high hopes for this. I had this listed at $169, I believe, and I'd gotten a few likes on it, but no bites. I'd sent out offers to likers and whatnot, and nothing really. So I got an offer for $85 this morning, and I tried to message the buyer and ask if they would come up a little bit. I sent out offers to the other likers, and then I just decided to go ahead and accept it because I had only paid $2.99 for it. It did have, or it does have, a lot of wear, which I indicated in the listing. So I think, you know, maybe I could have gotten a little bit more for this, but I decided that I wasn't going to wait, and I just go ahead and take that price. So like I said, it sold for $85. I had paid $3 for this at my regular Goodwill, so that made my net profit $65, which is awesome. I always like to try and have higher profits per item if I can, just so I can work smarter, not harder. But as we all know, it doesn't always work out to have big profits on every item. So the next item is this darling vintage cropped. It kind of looks like a linen. It's vintage Wrangler. Can you see that tag? Isn't that fun? And it ties in the front. I picked this up along with quite a bit of other vintage clothing at an estate sale for $1 a piece. And I had this listed for $39. A buyer liked it, and my Poshmark VA sent them out an offer of $36 with discounted shipping, which they accepted. So that made my net profit $25.12. I think I'd had this listed for, I don't know, maybe a couple of months. Not exactly sure. Sometimes vintage takes a little bit longer to sell, which I'm totally okay with. So did I already say my net profit was $25.12? Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I thought this was just the cutest top, and I'm sure the buyer is going to be thrilled with it. And I'm going to use a Tyvek envelope for this as well. The next item is this Brahmin handbag. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell on here. Maybe you will. Yeah, it looks like you can. But this is quite worn. And I went to one of our local thrift stores, and I was all excited because I saw that they had this hanging up. But then I went up there, and I think they had it priced at like $45 or something like that. Which, if it wasn't super worn out, I may have considered paying that price. But because it was quite worn, I passed on it. And then I went back the next week, and I think they had it marked down to $25. And I still passed because it was so worn. But then I went the next week, and they had it marked down to $4.95. Their rationale is kind of funny to me, but anyways, I was happy to get it for $4.95. And I just listed this a couple of days ago. And the buyer had sent me some pretty low offers. I listed it for $79 just because of the condition. And I think she started off by offering me like 40 bucks or something for it. And I just kept counter offering. And she finally offered me $53, which I thought was pretty fair, so I decided to accept. And after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my net profit $37.40. So I think that's a pretty great profit and quick turnaround. So we always like that. Brahmin has a good retail value and a pretty good resale value. So if you aren't familiar with that brand, I'd keep your eye out for it. It usually is leather, and it has this mock croc print on it. And they'll do browns and blacks, but they also do these bright, vibrant colors too. I've had them in bright blue and pink and lots of other fun colors. So I am happy for that to move on. The next item is a belt, which actually it's been maybe a week or so since I've sold a belt, which is kind of bizarre, but I thought this was an interesting piece because it had this kind of wishbone looking belt buckle, and it's a navy blue suede. I listed this a month or so ago, and I listed it for $39. It was a full price sale. So we always love full price sales. I typically price my items with room for offers. So I intentionally price at least 20% above what the lowest price I'll accept is, because I send out offers regularly on things, and I know that buyers make offers regularly on things. So I had paid $2 for this at a thrift store. So after Posh fees, that made my net profit $29.20. So as you guys will get sick of hearing, I love selling belts. They're a really great bread and butter item for me. I particularly like to pick up vintage belts that are genuine leather or unique. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but if I have a belt that doesn't have a name brand on it and it appears to be vintage, I will use vintage as the brand name. And I do that with lots of items. I think with that Wrangler top, I even listed that in vintage as the brand name because people follow that brand name and they'll specifically search out that. So that's that one. And then the last item is this Mexican Aztec kind of looking silver bracelet. Now, I had sold this once before and it's stamped 925, which means sterling silver. And I had neglected to test it, but apparently it is not solid sterling silver because the buyer put a magnet to it and it is magnetic. So that's one way you can tell if something is real silver or not. And so of course I accepted the return because it was my mistake. And I relisted it for a lower price. And I indicated in the listing that it was stamped 925 for sterling silver, but that it was magnetic, meaning that it wasn't solid sterling. So I had paid a little bit more for this because I thought it was sterling silver. But the buyer offered me $25 this morning. I had paid $5 for it at a thrift store. So that made my net profit $15, which I'm still happy with. You know, I hope to get more than that to begin with, but you know, profit's profit. So I'm using a recycled jewelry box. I think I got something in this for Christmas. And then I'm going to use ribbon that I picked up at an estate sale. And like I've said before, I don't buy new ribbon. I only buy it if I can find it secondhand for affordable prices. Because I just think it's a waste if, I just think it's wasteful to use it like, you know, for things like this. Well, even holiday packages, because people just end up throwing it away. But if I can somewhat recycle it, then I think that's great. So that's all for today, and I will see you in a couple of days with more sales. Hi, I'm back to ship out my sales from the last couple of days, and I'm a little short on time today, so pardon me if I seem a little rushed. I may not include as much information as normal. I just hit up the most amazing yard sale, and it lasted longer than I thought, so I need to get this stuff done, packed, and to the post office ASAP. So let's get started. The first item is this vintage, it feels like wool blend, window pane, plaid, long coat. It's hooded. It is by the brand DD Deb. I would show you the label, but I've got it buttoned up and I think it's kind of buried. But I got this during winter at my local Goodwill, and I always shop for these vintage coats during the winter, and I do pay up for them. I hope you guys can hear me. So this one was marked $14.99, which seems a little high for a coat, but I typically do pretty well with these vintage wool blend coats, especially if they have a good fit or a unique pattern or something like that. So I had this listed for $129 and it was a full price sale, and it's summer. I can't believe it. So like I said, I paid $15, making my net profit $88.12, which I think is amazing. So I'm going to use a full garment bag for this one so that if they want to store it with the garment bag covering it, they can reuse it. And when I'm listing these vintage items, a lot of the time they won't have a fabric content label or a size. And so I'll put in the listing Sorry you can't see me here. I'll put in the listing, estimated as a women's size, medium to large. Please refer to measurements for best fit. And then I include the measurements. And I also will list it in multiple sizes. So I thought this was in between a medium and a large, or depending on a person's shape that they might be able to, either might be able to wear it. So I listed it in multiple sizes, and I noted that also in the description, listed in multiple sizes for exposure. And I haven't had a complaint yet about listing it that way. This kind of gave off some dusty stuff. So that's how I do it. And then I'll put also in the description, no fabric content label, feels like a wool or a wool blend. And again, people don't seem to mind. So that was a great profit. I'm super excited about it. The next item is very tiny, and it is this 14 karat white gold chain necklace. It's very dainty. I think it's a 16-inch. And I picked this up at a yard sale for $3. So, you know, if you go to buy a real gold chain, you're gonna pay $100, $200 even for a dainty one. So these do retain their value somewhat. So I think I had this originally listed for $129, but I hadn't gotten any bites or offers on it. So this morning, a buyer offered me $60. And that was still a little bit less than I wanted to take. So I added it to a bundle and thanked her for making me the offer and said, I was hoping to get a bit more for this. Could you come up to 75? And she said, sorry, no, I've already spent too much money. And so I said, okay, let me consider your first offer for a little bit longer. And right after I put that note on there, she canceled her $60 offer and sent me a $65 offer. So even though that's not a huge amount more, I just decided to take it since I would be still be making a good profit. So after my cost of goods and Poshmark fees, my net profit was $49. So for one item, I think that is a pretty great profit. I'm not going to complain about that at all. The next item is this Trina Turk kind of color block bodycon dress. And I had bought this for myself at the Goodwill, and I just never ended up wearing it. So I decided to list it, and I can't remember what I had it listed at to begin with, but I'd had it listed for a little while, and the buyer offered me $20. So I just decided to accept it because I wanted to get it out of my closet. And it wasn't a particularly special or stylish dress, so I thought that was fine. So after Poshmark fees, I netted $16 on this item, which is fine. It's better than trying to sell it at a yard sale because nobody wants to pay, you know, anything really at yard sales. So I was happy with that, and I will pass it on to a new home. My tapes, didn't put enough tape on there. Hopefully I'm not rushing too much and miss something. So the next item is this kind of netted Champion, not Columbia, jacket. And I picked this up at the church fill the bag sale. And to be honest, this probably wasn't really that great of a pickup, although I paid less than $1 for it. So it's really no big deal. I think I had it listed for like $15 or $17, and the buyer offered me $12, so I just decided to go ahead and take it. So that made my net profit $8.05, which for, you know, this is the, I think this is the lower end Champion line, probably from Target even maybe. So for something like that, I was happy to find it a new home, and I had a really low cost of goods on it, so it was no big deal, and it's in nice condition. So they got a nice jacket for a really affordable price. So that is great. And of course, it never fails. Whenever I'm in a hurry, I run out of tape on my tape dispenser. So I am going to have to replace that. Right now, I just get my tape at the dollar store. They have like a 8-pack for $1 or $1.29, whatever it is. There might be more affordable options, but it works for me. And until they stop having it, I'm gonna keep buying it there. So the next item is this Lululemon jacket, sweatshirt, hooded sweatshirt. Now I bought this, and you probably can't see it either, but in the lighting at the Goodwill, I could not see that this had faint bleach spots all over it. So I paid $5 for it, thinking, you know, that I could sell it for a decent amount, and then I get it back and it has these flaws on it. And as I said before, and I will say it again, if I get an item that's flawed, I just list it anyways, and I put that it's flawed. And it's strange, they sell. They always sell, and they sell quick. So, you know, I do put them for very reasonable prices. So this, I think I listed for $18, and someone liked it, and my Posher VA sent them out a 10% off offer with discounted shipping. So that was $16 with discounted shipping. Like I said, I had paid $5. So after Poshmark fees and my cost of goods, my net profit was $5.12. But $5 is better than nothing. So if I hadn't listed it, if I just had redonated it, it would have been a loss instead of that $5 profit. So I am happy with that, and I would encourage you to always list items even if you find that there's a flaw on them. So let's see, the next item is this vintage sequin butterfly top. Now I had a little bit higher hopes for this, but it did have quite a few missing stones, loose threads, overall quite a bit of wear on it, which I didn't really realize when I bought it. So I had paid $3 for this, and I think I originally had it listed for $39, maybe even as high as $45. But I got an offer for it for $25, and I'd had it listed for a little while, so I just decided that I would go ahead and accept that. So after Poshmark fees and my cost of goods, my net profit was $17. And like I said before, every little bit adds up. So I am happy even with smaller price or smaller profit sales. And you know, I don't intend to have sales like that, but sometimes it works out like that, and you just have to take it and move on. So the next item is this adorable vintage style wicker purse with leather handles. Again, I had higher hopes for this. It was kind of a off-brand Savoy. I think that it may have been, you know, a higher price bag to begin with, because it's really nice quality. But I listed this at the beginning of last summer, and it didn't sell, and I really hadn't had any bites on it. So I got an offer for $27 this morning, and I decided to accept it. I'm just noticing there's some little marks on here that I am kind of gently rubbing off. So I had paid $5 for this at an estate sale. So that made my net profit $16.60, which is still a just fine profit for an item. So I think I might have to custom make a box for this, because I just realized that the largest priority box, that this is too large for that. So of course I will do that off camera. But all in all, I am very happy with this week's sales. This really seems like what my sales used to be like before they changed the search function and made some changes to the algorithm. You know, I think there's a lot of things going on that have affected our sales, what's going on in the world. So I am just continuing to try and stay positive and list regularly to keep my sales going. So let's see, that's it for this week. I'm gonna go ahead, I'll put in the title what my total sales for the week were. And as always, if you enjoy these videos, I would really love it if you would give it a thumbs up, comment down below maybe what your favorite item was, or if you have any questions or whatnot. I'll also put my Poshmark closet in the description box below, so if you want to check it out and see if there's anything you can't live without. And last but not least, please subscribe if you've enjoyed my content, because I plan on continuing to do at least one video a week. I'm really surprised at how much I'm loving doing this. I kind of thought it might be a chore or I'd get tired of it, but I'm having a lot of fun, and there's been so many kind comments, and yeah, I'm just really excited to meet people and connect with people from the community, the reseller community. So that's it, and I will see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.